Hi everyone, I'm Jackie Weisenburger, full-time real estate broker with Happel in Quincy, Illinois. Over the last week, property tax bills have started arriving in mailboxes across Adams County. And one thing is certain, many homeowners are experiencing sticker shock. I've had a lot of people asking questions about how property taxes actually work, where the money goes, why taxes seem so high, and why tax bills can change so dramatically from year to year. Today I want to break down property taxes in simple terms. First, let's start with one of the biggest misconceptions. Property taxes are paid in arrears. What that means is the tax bill you receive in 2026 is actually paying for the 2025 tax year. You're always paying for the previous year, not the current year. As a realtor, one thing I often tell buyers is that for very simple estimating purposes, assume property taxes will eventually settle in around 2% of a property's value. That isn't an exact formula, and every property is different. But it helps buyers understand where taxes may end up once assessments catch up to market value. For example, if someone purchases a home for $200,000 and the taxes seem unusually low, there is a chance those taxes could eventually adjust upward over time. Using a rough 2% estimate would put annual taxes somewhere around $4,000. Again, that's only a simple rule of thumb and not a guarantee, but it helps buyers budget realistically. Now let's talk about the tax bill itself. When you look at your property tax statement, you'll see a taxable value and a tax rate. The taxable value is not the same thing as what your property would sell for on the open market. It's part of a formula used by the assessment process to determine how much of the local tax burden each property owner pays. The next thing you'll notice is that many different taxing bodies receive portions of your property taxes. A lot of people assume the City of Quincy receives most of the money, but that's actually not the case. The largest portion generally goes to public education. Local school districts typically receive the majority of property tax revenue. Additional portions may go to Adams County Government, John Wood Community College, the Park District, Township Government, libraries, and the city. In many cases, schools receive around 60% of the total tax bill, while the county, park district, college, township, and city divide up the remaining amount. So when your tax bill increases, it is important to understand that there are multiple taxing bodies involved, not just one. Another factor affecting tax bills is property values. Over the last several years, home values have increased significantly across Quincy and Adams County. As assessments adjust and values rise, many property owners have seen increases in their tax burden. This creates frustration because homeowners are often being hit from both directions. Property values increase, insurance costs increase, construction costs increase, and then property taxes often increase as well. One of the questions I hear frequently is, what can we do to help reduce the pressure on property taxes? One solution that deserves serious discussion is housing growth and development. Think about it this way. If a community has the same number of taxpayers year after year, but expenses continue to rise, the existing taxpayers end up carrying more of the burden. However, if we build more homes, create more subdivisions, encourage development, add housing units, and bring more families into the community, we create additional taxable property. That means more property tax revenue is generated overall. When more homes are built, more people contribute to funding schools, roads, infrastructure, parks, emergency services, and local government operations. A larger tax base spreads costs across more taxpayers rather than concentrating those costs on the same homeowners year after year. This is one reason I have been such a strong advocate for increasing housing opportunities in Quincy and Adams County. More housing helps address inventory shortages, creates opportunities for families, supports local businesses, attracts workers, and expands the tax base. No, additional housing won't magically solve every property tax issue overnight. But long-term, growth is generally healthier than stagnation. Communities that continue to attract residents, builders, developers, and investment often place themselves in a stronger financial position than communities that stop growing. The reality is that property taxes are complicated. There isn't one single cause, one single government body, or one single solution. But understanding how the system works helps us have better conversations about where we are today and where we want to be in the future. If you have questions about property taxes, assessments, buying a home, selling a home, or understanding how taxes may impact a future purchase, feel free to reach out. I'm Jackie Weisenburger, full-time real estate broker with Happel in Quincy, Illinois. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.